Hi, Bill Landing joining you again on Interesting Individuals. It's 2023. Once again, we are continuing on our series of programs when we can with Elston graduates and what they learned in high school, what are some of the things that carried out to them in the real world. My guest is Tom Nowatzke. He's going to talk to us today about his days at Elston, how he went on to have a pro football career, and why he is an interesting individual. Tom, thank you for coming to Michigan City. You're 2 hours away in Michigan. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
All right. Well, Tom, we're going to start out first. You're a 1961 Elston graduate.
Yes, sir.
Let's see what you recall from your days at Elston.
Well, it was different back then. I mean, we took a bus to school.
Yeah.
Living out in Cold Spring Township, we had to sometimes get a ride home or hitch a ride home after practice because there was no buses going that way. So I spent a lot of time waiting for people to pick me up out of a bar.
Out of a bar.
They were having a drink, and I had to wait for them to get a ride home.
Yeah. Now, how many years were you on the varsity football team?
3 years.
Okay, 10th, 11th, and 12th?
Right.
All right, good. And you were a running back. What were all the different positions you held?
I was linebacker, running back. I kicked.
You kicked?
Okay.
Okay. All right. And I know Vic Overman was the coach, and he was there for quite a long time. So
He was.
Talk about what you remember about Coach Overman.
Coach Overman was not a very big guy. He was only about 6'1", but I used to stay at his house when I couldn't get a ride home until someone could come get me. So that's the kind of guy he was. And his family, they took care of guys. And then you got Doug Adams, who was just as good as he was. Okay.
All right.
He was a coach from basketball.
And you did play basketball.
I did play
Adams.
basketball there. Yeah. We were, in fact, I think we went to the state my junior year. Okay. But we didn't do anything. Okay?
Oh, it can happen.
Went to the regionals a lot. Okay, but the state was 1 year, I think. I don't remember back.
Okay, yeah. I don't remember how many semi-states he advanced to. It's hard to remember because there's so many years. But do you remember, all right, we talked about football and the teams that, do you remember what, maybe your senior year, do you recall what your winning record was?
No, I don't.
Yeah,
I don't.
All right. All right, do you remember how many touchdowns you scored that year, roughly?
All of them.
Okay.
I know this. In college, I averaged 55.2 minutes a game.
Okay. Well, we'll get to that in just a moment here. All right. Well,
nobody's going to do that again.
No. College. Okay. Now, are there any teachers that you recall from your days at Elston?
I remember the coaches real well. And there was a teacher that taught math, the lady, and I can't remember her name, but she was tough tough as nails.
Really?
And everybody was afraid of her class, including me. Okay, so I don't remember her name, but
you remember? Her.
Coach Lamb, Dick Lamb.
Yes, I know that name. Okay,
and he was a tough guy too. Okay,
and what did he coach?
He coached the defensive backs, I think.
Okay.
And then Jerry Karstens, who was a really tough coach, coached the junior varsity in football, and then he coached the varsity during the games.
Now, was Oscar Lubke around in your time frame?
He was a sophomore when I was a senior.
Okay.
His dad, Oscar Lubke, and my dad, his name Oscar, were good friends. Oscar Lubke was a police officer.
Right.
Okay.
Yes.
And my dad and he were good friends.
Okay, so I do remember some of there. Well, where'd you go to college?
Indiana University.
Okay, you get a lot of college offers?
Quite a few. Yeah, I had inquiries from about 15 or 16. Mm-hmm. Notre Dame I visited twice.
Really?
But I didn't like Joe Kuharig.
Joe who?
Joe Kuharig was the coach.
Okay, all right. Well, that plays a hand in it,
And I thought it was South Bend. It was too close to home. Mm-hmm. It's very run home for the night or the weekend instead of being in school.
Yeah. Okay.
And Phil Dickens came to my house, and he was the coach at IU. And I believed in him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Phil Dickens?
Dickens.
Okay.
Northwestern, Eric Parsesian was the other guy.
Oh, yeah. Now, did you meet him?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
3 times I met him.
All right.
He came to my house.
All right. Then when you were done with college, did you finish and get a degree?
Yes, I got a BS in business in the 3 years or 4 years I was there.
Business, and then you became the #1 draft choice of the Detroit Lions. Let's talk about that.
And the New York Jets.
Oh, okay. New York Jets.
And I didn't see myself going to New York. I wasn't the New York guy.
Okay. Uh-huh.
And the only team we saw on TV when we were kids was the Lions on Thanksgiving Day.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only game that was on TV back then.
Yeah.
There wasn't, 2 games during the week on.
Yeah, sure. Oh, I know.
Now they're all on somewhere.
Yeah, it was just the good old UHF television.
Yeah.
So you met with both Detroit and the Jets. Excuse me.
Yep. Sonny Wordman was the guy who was representing the Jets, and I can't remember who the Lions were, but
did you sign with the Lions?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And then how many years were you with them?
5.
5? Okay. Any special games stand out of any time?
Well, their head coach was George Wilson, and he was probably the best coach they had there since the current one.
Okay.
Okay. The guy they have now is excellent. Okay. Mm-hmm. And if he's got the right assistants, he's almost got the right players. And you see they're 3-1 right now. Mm-hmm. And they should do really well. Back then, the Lions were always, when we were supposed to win a game, we always lost it somehow.
Shame.
Somehow we figured out lose. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And but it was interesting.
And George Wilson. So then now were you traded to the Colts, Baltimore Colts, or
Joe Schmidt he was a middle linebacker who thought I was going to replace. I worked out in training camp as a fullback and a linebacker because that's why I played both positions. Mm-hmm. And Joe was going to retire. Well, Joe didn't retire, so Joe came back. So then they moved me, and then the next year with the same position. And they brought in Mike Lucci, who was a good friend of mine.
Okay.
Mike's gone now; he passed. So I went back to the fullback position and stayed over there. And then 5 years later, I got released by the head coach, who was not Joe, it was somebody else. I can't remember who it was. And then I got picked up by Baltimore.
Okay.
And I played the whole season there, and the stats from there.
Yeah, then so 3 years at Baltimore.
3.
And then let's talk about that. It was 1970. You guys went and beat, who was your opponent?
Dallas Cowboys.
Dallas Cowboys. All right. Okay, this one, I'm going to hold this up. I don't know if Andy can get this or not, but we're going to hold up a couple of pictures. There's one. Okay.
That's the tying touchdown in Super Bowl 5.
That's you?
Yeah.
Okay. And I'm going to hold up another one here, and this is you here. Is this also from the Super? Yeah, I can recognize the Dallas helmet. Well, good. Now, how many yards did you have to go to get to that touchdown?
It was 52 yards pass.
Oh,
it's the longest pass in the Super Bowl. In Super Bowl.
Okay. And then it was a close game, but you guys pulled it up.
Yeah, it was the first year that they had a 2-week layoff between the last game and the Super Bowl.
Oh, okay.
And both teams were affected. There was 13 mistakes in that game.
In that Super Bowl game?
Oh, fumbles or penalties or change of possession. 13. Mm-hmm. That's a lot.
All right. So then when you were done with Baltimore, then time to go out and find other employment, right? Or did you stay in football in some capacity?
No, a couple teams wanted me. I went down and tried out with it. I went down to Houston, but they were an up-and-coming team, and an old running back mm-hmm. wasn't going to make it with a young kid team. So, and then Abe Gibran was a friend of mine, Michigan City guy.
Yes.
Wanted me to come to Chicago. And I said, Abe, I'm not going to come over there and waste my time if you're not going to keep me. Mm-hmm. And he said, no, we're planning on it. Well, he didn't.
Oh, no.
So, but I don't think it was Abe's decision. I think it was hired. Alice got involved. But anyway, that was the end of my career.
All right. Well, then what did you do immediately following football?
Well, I started working as a salesman for Brown Trailer, who was here in town.
Okay, I remember
Made the semi-trailers here. Mm-hmm. And that's not why I went there. I just happened to find it up in Detroit. Okay. And I started as a salesman, and then ended up buying out what they had and represented Great Dane Trailers for 15 years.
Okay.
and that was my business. I had a semi-trailer distributorship.
And I understand you told me you just sold a dealership recently.
Yeah, 10 weeks ago, yeah.
Oh, okay. Now, how long had you had that one?
Well, that's the same one.
It was the same one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I moved from one place to another, but it's the same deal.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
I sold it, and now all I have is I got about 30 storage trailers out, and
Wow.
when they come back, they're going to be sold too.
Are all going to be sold to Europe. Okay. So now, are you in touch with some of your former professional teammates?
There's only 24 guys left from Super Bowl V.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I'm in touch with some of them, but not a lot of them because they're all in different parts of the country. And it's Unitas and all, Earl Morrill, all those guys are gone.
Oh, Johnny Unitas. How well did you get to know him?
Oh, and here's how I get to know him. And people will enjoy this. The first game, they put me in. I didn't start the game. The second game of the year, I didn't start. But they put me in. We were on the 10-yard line, and he called a pass. And he called an audible at the line. And I missed it. I was supposed to go knock the defensive man down, and I didn't.
Mm-hmm.
When he threw the ball, Perkins was open in the end zone, but the defensive end knocked the ball down.
Oh, no.
He says, "Get off the goddamn field."
That's what he said.
I had to leave.
Oh. You hopefully got better from there.
We were good friends after that.
Mm-hmm.
He was a great guy.
Yeah.
Great guy. He could talk to John and say, "I got this, let's do this, I think I can do this." And he listened, and that's why he was so good.
That's why he was so good. All right. And I understand that you are going to be meeting, we're taping this in late September, you're going to be meeting with some former teammates up in Montana?
Yes. In 2 weeks. Well, the 5th of October, which is a week and a half,
Okay,
right?
yeah. And what's going to be going on?
Well, they've been begging me for years to come up there and go pheasant hunting. Okay.
Okay.
So Lonnie Warwick, who played middle linebacker for Minnesota,
Okay.
is one of the guys that's going. And there's supposed to be 25 ex-ball players going for this. It's a benefit thing.
Mm-hmm.
Money's raised for charity up there.
Yeah.
But you pheasant hunt for 2 days.
2 days. You go ahead and do that.
So
Getting back to football, did you happen to meet Gale Sayers? I know he was with the Bears. I don't know if you were even in the same conference with them or not.
Well, he and Dick Butkus and I played in the same All-American game, coach's All-American game in Buffalo, New York, our senior year.
Uh-huh.
And he was the halfback and I was the fullback.
Oh.
So I met him.
Well, good.
Okay.
And Dick Butkus too, huh?
Dick's a different guy. He's very intense, let's put it that way.
Oh, well,
Okay.
yeah, as a player.
I mean, he's good. Both of them are excellent football players, okay?
Oh,
I don't have
sure.
to say that. But
Yeah.
I think Gale's gone now.
Yes, he is.
And I don't know about Dick.
I don't know about him either. I know you got some rings on. Can you describe which one is which?
Super Bowl V.
Super Bowl V. All righty. Many players would love to be wearing one of these. Yeah.
This is the Indiana Hall of Fame ring.
Indiana Hall of Fame ring. Good enough. All righty. And then the third one.
I wear this one because I was the president of alumni for 7 or 8 years. Back when the alumni were just trying to get their stuff together.
Uh-huh.
Now they've got a great organization. And sometimes I say it's because I'm not there.
Yeah, you never know. All right, you have a brother that lives in the Michigan City area.
I have 5 brothers and sisters.
5
My
brothers.
brother lives just a mile and a half from here.
Uh-huh.
And I have a sister who lives 2 miles from here.
Oh,
And I
okay.
have a sister in Chesterton. And I
Uh-huh.
have a sister in St. Louis.
All
And a
right.
brother in Grand Rapids.
Okay. So other than your family members, anyone else in Michigan City that you're in touch with?
No, most used to be a lot of people, but as time goes on and people pass away, you lose touch, and no.
Yeah. Oh, that's a shame. So, but I'm glad you have family members in the area that can do that. So, well, it's fun to get back to Michigan City every now and then. Just see.
Yeah,
I
it
know
is.
there's a lot of changes since when you were here, but growing up, but
There's a lot of changes everywhere.
Uh-huh.
It's change is what's happening every day. So
yeah. So a lot more. So in the early '60s, we had a lot more industry back then, I believe.
now I don't know what the main industry here is. It used to be Clark Equipment had company.
Yes, I know a gentleman who worked there. We had Pullman.
Pullman's gone too.
And Dunham Bush was another company. That, I would go on for. Must have had about 40 or 50 industry companies here at the time. So
Michigan City is still the biggest industry is the lake. People that live around the lake that come for the summer. I would think that's a big thing.
That is a good thing. That is a good thing. Tom Nowatzke, it's been a pleasure having you on the show and sharing your Elston days and your football days. And congratulations again on scoring a touchdown in the Super Bowl. Not too many men can say they did that or even got to play in the Super Bowl. But thank you so much for being on my show, and good luck on that pheasant hunting.
Yeah, well, I haven't shot a gun in 2 years, but we're going to find out.
We're going to find out. All right. I'm Bill Landing. That's this edition of Interesting Individuals. Thank you for watching. Bye.